Good morning, happy Monday, happy week one, and welcome to the number one group of five college football show in the world. This is the Group of Five Guys. If you're new here, our mission is to be the voice for the group of five football programs, the voice that the mainstream sports media absolutely refuses to be. We need everyone's help to do that. Hit the follow button on all the social platforms at Group of Five Guys. Go to the Believe Network. Go to YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your best podcasts. Subscribe to the channel. Leave a 5-star rating and a review. Most importantly, tell your family and friends all about us. We're back to the morning show, and on the first morning show of the season, we're going to recap our trip to Bowling Green, Kentucky, talk about Western Kentucky's football program. We're going to recap all the games from the weekend and plenty more. Hope you enjoy the show. This is the Group of Five Guys, and we are coming to you live.
They got Old Dominion week 3, and ODU is by no means a layup. Group of Five Guys told me that, so that has to be true.
We looked at each other, we was like, Mike, the best place to be is a Group of Five. So I'm sitting here with the Group of Five Guys, right?
Troy has won, it's been a winner, and it's a special place, so it's why you want the job.
But it's a ton of fun to watch a guy go to the NFL from a Nevada or a Colorado State or a Middle Tennessee or an App State, and fans follow that kid.
It was across there. You want to have this thing packed out, have the student section packed out, giving those guys hell on the sideline. I mean, that's part of it. I mean,
win or lose, like we're winning the tailgate.
There's no better place to be developed in this country than Boise State.
Jeff, isn't it nice waking up 4:30, 5 in the morning? You put the coffee maker on the morning timer, the delay, so it just starts brewing. You don't even need an alarm clock. You just wake up to the smell of fresh roast to order Deca Gray coffee. Isn't that nice?
I mean, it's a beautiful thing. We got college football. We got Deca Gray coffee. Got a little bit of the Space Cowboy this morning in my Statesboro Sprouse Gata Fuel mug.
Really?
No doubt about it. No doubt.
Thought I was the only one that had that. But yeah, you guys know the deal. Look, we're back in the morning, so we're back with Deca Gray Coffee Company. Truly is really good coffee. I've actually got the Group of Five Guys Game Day Dark Roast in the cup this morning, but it is roast to order coffee. It's not sitting on the shelves. None of that business. You've got multiple different blends, kind of from your lighter to your darker roast blends. They've got ground coffee, whole bean coffee, and K-Cups. So check them out, DecaGrayCoffeeCo.com. Is that right, Jeff? Did I mess that up?
DecaGray.com.
Oh, wow.
Sorry.
I get mixed up. I mix up all the websites. It's Gridiron Spice Co.
Yeah. It's all
check
good.
them out, too, by the way.
Have it on the graphic. It's just right there. You don't even have to worry about it. You don't even have to say it. It's right there.
First show of the season, and I blow it on the very first segment of the show. Anyway, make sure you check out Deca Gray. Also, we teased it a little bit Friday morning from Western Kentucky. We tweeted it out over the weekend. I know you're seeing a bunch of stuff, but we have officially launched and partnered with Levels Sports Picks. So if you're into that at all, or if you're not into it at all, the gambling scene, if you're kind of like me, just trying to learn, it's a really good Discord. What you're going to get is you're going to learn how to bet responsibly with Levels Sports Picks. You're going to get access to some of the best cappers in the world, in the business. On there, you're going to get to see their picks, their plays, things like that. And then if you're not really into it, you still got a private chat room that we're going to be actively involved in, where you're going to see some of our pictures, videos, and clips from some of our trips before they get posted onto social. So there's a lot of good stuff. Look, we're trying to do this thing every year. We take another step forward into doing this, professionally, doing it in a bigger way. And this is just another level to that. And so, if you want to help support the Group of Five Guys, go ahead and go on Levels Sports Picks and subscribe to that Discord.
Yeah, and it's a really great community that they've built over there, and that's what I love about it. It's very educational if you're wanting to get into that sort of thing. There's a bankroll calculator. It's how to bet responsibly. It's how to manage your units. And Jay Vandy and the coaches, Deshaun Bell, they do a great job of explaining that, giving you tools to help. And really got it down to somewhat of a science. And they don't just, they do MLB, NBA, NFL, whichever sport, UFC, whichever your sport, of choice is, if you follow that team or just follow, big fan of baseball, whatever, they got picks, they got, conversations, chat rooms that you can go in and talk about what you like, what you don't like. And like I said, at the end of the day, it's just a great community of sports bettors online and just people that just go back and forth. And like Sprouse said, we got our own space in there, and, early release content and some stuff that we just don't release to the public as well. So it's a great partnership, and we're excited about it.
Yeah, can't wait to do it. Can't wait to talk about these two players of the week from week 0. Offensively, I mean, pretty obvious. And Jeff, I'll credit you because you called it preseason and you called it even pre-game during warmups. Western Kentucky receiver Matt Henry, 7 catches, 148 yards, and a touchdown, and a couple other ones where he should have got in, but we couldn't quite find the end zone. But 7 catches, 148, and a teeter. Very impressive to watch live, Jeff.
Yeah, he was. He was as advertised, in my opinion, and you saw a difference. I mean, they're just guys that you see, especially in person. You can really see it. They're just different. And Sam Houston had a hard time. Their DBs covering him. He was just running right by him, and a couple of them weren't even double moves. I don't know if the DBs were confused or what to do or just couldn't handle the speed, but he just ran right by him, had a phenomenal catch in the end zone to start the year for the Hilltoppers, and just was a game changer all night long.
Yeah, well, that catch in the end zone was super impressive. I mean, just the adjustment on the ball, it was kind of that
such a difficult catch,
Willie Mays style, right? Over the shoulder catch, having to follow it, shoulder to shoulder, and then catch it and keep his feet and really his whole body in bounds and into the end zone. Great throw. I mean, couldn't have been thrown anywhere else, but that's still just a tough catch. And to see that in person from 20 yards away is pretty dang impressive. On the defensive side of the ball, going over to Hawaii, and let me pull out my notes to make sure I give my best attempt at pronouncing this correctly. Kilinahe Mendiola Jensen.
Very well done.
Is that pretty good?
I mean, that's mid-season form right there, Sprouse.
Yeah, well, I'm on it. Look, 4 tackles, had 2 pass breaks up, but then, of course, had the game-flipping interception from coming off of the edge, too. I mean, from, 5 yards away, gets a dart thrown at him, comes down with the interception that allows Hawaii to go down and kick that field goal to win that game. But just an unbelievable clutch play at the end of the game from a defensive guy.
I mean, you talk about athleticism. Absolutely insane to be coming off the edge. It's a naked boot, right? So the outside backer sees it. He triggers to go get it. And just to have the athletic ability to jump up, tip the ball, catch it, and hold on to it, I mean, just insane. And that is what allowed Hawaii to ultimately, get the ball back, go down and score points and win the game. I mean, incredible performance.
Yeah. And so shout out to those guys, Matt Henry at Western Kentucky and Kilinahe Mendiola Jensen for Hawaii. 2 big-time performances from those 2 guys. Well, Jeff, let's talk about our trip to Bowling Green. Why don't we? To give you a little recap, we got real close, Jeff. We got real close to having a smooth, no issue show on Friday morning, which, by the way, put in the chat, the Friday morning show, I think is a game changer, not only for us, but for Group of 5 fans, because look, we know you want to see Herb Street and McAfee and those guys. Like, we get it. So us going Friday morning like that, I think it's a game changer. I think it's good stuff. Get your little preview for all the Group of 5 games on that Friday morning live from campus. But we were close, Jeff.
Yes,
we had it going. And, Jared and Jure, they warned us. They said, the only thing we need to worry about is that train. And sure enough, I get on there and I say, good morning and welcome. And it just goes right by campus, right to start the thing. I mean, it just never fails, dude. It just never fails. There's always one thing. And then we got through most of the show. And then towards the end, the internet started getting a little bit messed up. But
yeah, that's the thing is we love to go live and we want to continue to try and do it. It's just so difficult because there's so many unknown factors that you can't account for. So, we traveled a couple other times throughout the year. Definitely still going to try and do the Friday show. May ultimately have to just do a, record and upload Friday morning. So it'll appear live to everybody else. You guys probably won't even know the difference, but if we can go live, we'll definitely still try and do it. But yeah, just incredible backdrop for us, in that stadium on the terrace right there. And shout out, that all the help that we had the entire weekend, between Jure and just the entire Western Kentucky staff, got to meet a bunch of the guys and coaches and people in the room that make the thing really go.
Yeah, 100%. And yeah, you had the backdrop of the houch, as they call it. So shout out to Jared and Jure, like you said, Jeff. And then of course you get the trash guy. They're trying to get the stadium ready for the game. And these guys are so dialed in to their responsibility, like they cannot deviate. I mean, these guys, Jeff, they pull up, they back up in their waste management or whatever truck it was. I mean, I'm talking, they get out and they sort of observe. They say, okay, there's some type of recording going on here. There's some type of live show. There's cameras, there's microphones, there's people standing around. They size it up, they identify, they look, and they have a little conference about it. And apparently they just say, F it, we'll do it live. And then he has to do the safety honk, right before he backs up right in front of the show. And they start loading up trash cans and it's right in front of us, making all the noise you could possibly make. But no, it makes for, you know what, Jeff? I sometimes enjoy something like that because it takes the edge, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just kind of loosens it up. Nothing will be worse than that guy at Toledo that just walked right up to the show when we're mid-conversation with Brian Blair and thinks we're selling tickets or something like that. But
now with our new podium, I don't think anybody's going to mistake it. In years past, we've kind of just been at a table or behind a table. So,
yeah,
got some upgrades. Got some upgrades in there, and yeah, I'm with you. It kind of lightens the mood a little bit, and just like you're on the football field. Uncalled for things happen.
You got to get hit that first time.
You got to be able to adapt and overcome. Shea Gordon says, F it, we'll do it live.
I'll write it. We'll do it live. Hey, but so let's talk Bowling Green a little bit. So Friday we got in there, we hit the show and we hit the facilities tour. Let's talk facilities. New indoor on the way, and it's real close. I mean, structure is there. They got to lay the turf and probably, finish some HVAC, it appears. But 400 yards, fully enclosed, which you don't often see. You typically see the fully enclosed up north in the MAC and that country up there, but fully enclosed in Bowling Green to keep the guys out of the elements. Going to go straight from their complex. You go out one side of the locker room, you're in the stadium. You go out the other side of the locker room, you're in the indoor. So they got it set up now to where everything is, what do we talk about? Everything's right there. Everything's in the same building, the same operation, and it's something else we talk about. Those guys live there, right? I mean, those guys live in that building. So to have your locker room, your weight room, your training room, stadium, practice facilities, study hall, everything you can imagine is just right there in that building. So they really don't have to leave other than to go to class and go to sleep.
Well, that's the thing a lot of people don't understand is when you're putting together a schedule, I mean, time is money. Everybody knows that, right? But when you have to have players walk across campus to the dining hall or walk across campus to a certain, student enhancement center, like all those are minutes that you have to factor in to the entire day. And if you have things that are spread out, you're talking an additional hour to 2 hours potentially that you have to factor in for travel time of your guys to get to meetings. Like it all adds up at the end of the day. It's all about being efficient. So now that they got the indoor that's going to be ready right there, you don't have to worry about, going outside or during the summer and spring when you got, lightning, when it's wintertime and it's super cold and you don't want to be outside. Like it's a game changer because they've had nice facilities. I was there a couple years ago and I was like, wow, real impressed with it and still am and love their locker room, the way it's kind of set up. And, as a middle fan, it pains me to say, but they got some about their uniforms. Like we got to see behind the scenes on that. And they're just, damn it. They're sharp. They're sharp, Sprouse. I hate to say it.
Yeah. Well, how much did it also pain you to see all the guys from Murfreesboro in that locker room, huh?
Yeah, we got to meet two guys.
A couple of them
that were Murfreesboro guys, and nudging him a little bit, just messing with him.
Yeah.
We got to do to get you back to Burrow, my friend.
Yeah, but no, they're in a good spot at Western, and I'll tell you I like that sort of that it was where they did their academics, but it looked like a lobby of like a super well off, Fortune 500 type company, didn't it? Like, you just walk in and you got the desk that goes all the way around the place. You got all the accolades and pictures up on all of the walls. Really, really impressive. And then, Jeff, we got to talk about the weight room. You go power lift for your racks and things like that, but pretty big, a lot of space in their weight room. Maybe not as many racks and platforms as some of them, but a lot of space. And look, I always joke that Sorinex is the Cadillac of, strength equipment. Power lift is the GM. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Same company, just maybe one step below. I mean, but so they got really good stuff. They've got the nutrition center right there in the weight room. They've got the custom shakes and smoothies for the weight gain and the weight loss and all those things. So, and then we didn't get, they had some people were using the training room, but you see the hot tub, the cold tub, all of the stuff, all of the fancy recovery equipment in there.
Yeah.
So they got it going on at Western.
Yes, they do.
You always said you like their stadium, especially their home side is awesome. Awesome.
Well, it's just, it's to me, it's the perfect. If you took out on the visitor side, really just the top two corners, because that's where the handful of times I've been there, people really aren't in those corners, and middle's the same way. But no, I love their home side. Love the press box. The Harbaugh Club. Then you get the berm, the grass berm where the students was. I mean, it was shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah.
At least to halftime. We'll say that.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, Jeff.
Disappointed, and the student section there. It's like, guys, we got a ball game here. It's halftime. I know you want to get down the hill to Hilligans, but you got to stay. You got to root on the Hilltoppers. But they ended up getting it done. So.
Yeah, you wish they would have stayed the whole game. Most of the students got out of there probably at halftime. However, we went to Hill against Friday. Boy, they got some good food in there. But I don't imagine at 10 p.m. too many people were looking to have wings and pizza. I think they're there for something else. And there was a line out the door.
No doubt about it. We'll tell the good people what we kind of got cooking up, and something new, something we've never done before, but excited about it.
Yeah, so, well, first of all, shout out to, we'll call him Producer Ben, maybe. What are we going to call him? We got to give him like a little nickname.
Yeah. I always call him Ben Glizzy.
Old Ben Glizzy is making the rounds with us this year. He's got the camera. He's got all the fancy stuff, and he's got the creative mind. Jeff and I, Jeff's smart. He's a quarterback. He sees things, and I'm just kind of here, but Ben has that creative mind of angles and where to stand and where to get the best shots. So he made the trip with us. So we've got coming out this week, we'll have a bunch of stuff. One, we're going to have probably a 20 to 30 minute sort of mini documentary about a weekend in Bowling Green. So if you're a Liberty fan, or you're an FIU fan or something like that, you're traveling up to Bowling Green this year, we're going to give you a rundown. I mean, we went everywhere now. We went to Hilligans. We went to the downtown square. We did all of it. So kind of give you a rundown of what to do, where to stay, and then just what it's like. Immerse yourself in a game day weekend in Bowling Green, Kentucky. So we're going to have that come out, and then from that be a bunch of little spinoffs on facilities, on game highlights, on show highlights. So I don't know if I missed anything there, Jeff, but
no, I think
really excited. I haven't seen it. So
yeah, it's going to be awesome. And just something, another piece of content we're trying to put out. And, we started this thing, we wanted to showcase the entire package, right? When you go to these Group of 5 schools, either as a student, as a player, as a fan, as a family member. So hopefully this kind of does it. It's our first one. So obviously, as everything we do here at the Group of 5 guys, we're going to improve each time we do it. But I think it's awesome, and kind of gives a good picture of, you're going to Bowling Green, Kentucky for a football game. Hit these couple spots, go check it out, and it's good. Yep. It's good stuff, man. Shout out Ben.
Yeah, ain't no doubt about it. Well, let's talk some games, and look, we're going to try to keep these shows.
Sprouse, before you get going, I got to say, he's under a different name, but our boy Steeple PC, he's in the live chat. Steeple, where you been, pal? Good to see you.
What's the new name? I got it.
Well,
Now
just on YouTube, anyways. Numbers matters
I won't
in
accept
football.
it. I won't accept it until I get the call.
I agree.
Good morning, everybody. This is Steeple.
Underscore PC.
Yeah,
Underscore
that's
50.
when I'll know Steeple's all in. Well, shout out to him, man. Good to see you. Good to hear from you. Well, let's talk some games. We're going to try to keep these shows right at an hour in the morning, namely because about 7 a.m. for me Eastern time, it's when the kids start waking up. That's when I got to go to work. So I already got Jeff, I got my navy blue. Let me tell you something about these pants I got on. Navy blue slight checker pattern on the suit for today.
Nice.
I already got my undershirt on. I'm ready to go. I just got to kind of take the hat off,
Comb the hair.
flip the hair a little bit, throw on a button down and a tie, and I'm good to go. Idaho State, UNLV. Thought this was going to be a bit of a tune-up game for UNLV. And boy, did they get tested, Jeff Murphy. They got absolutely tested. You talked about some of those Idaho State players on offense being some of the top guys in the FCS. Couple things I want to say about this, right? Multiple things. Number one, a bunch of people on Twitter, how do you have them in the top 10? Well, listen, we had them at 11, and we even talked about it on the show, them potentially being too high. Don't compare us to people that had them just because Dan Mullen got hired, put them in the playoff spot already. We didn't do that, okay? But also, they might be just fine, man. It's a long season. It's week 0. You got some things out. They got a lot to fix quick, but they got Sam Houston this weekend, and we got a chance to see them live. And yeah, they didn't come out with a win, but UNLV better get right quick, or Hunter Watson's going to have a field day. But anyway, let's talk UNLV. So offensively, Jeff, I thought they looked fine. Jet Thomas was as advertised, right? He had a big day, had the big run, the touchdown. They scored 38 points. I mean, you can't ask for a whole lot more than that.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the box score, you go back and watch the tape. I talked about Idaho State. Jordan Cook in 2023, redshirted a year ago, they led the FCS in passing. Like the kid can spin it. Now ended up having 3 interceptions, but 380 yards and a touchdown. It's a damn good day. And I went on this Auburn podcast to talk about Ball State and Mercer and South Alabama. And he asked me about, when you're a program and you're obviously playing up, in a division, or in this case, FCS to FBS, this is a big game for Idaho State. They are going to come with a lot of energy. They want to punch you in the mouth right away. Like that's what you do. And it's the opening to college football. And we talked about UNLV. Like they were full of Power 4 guys with some returners. Like it's going to take some time. So yeah, I agree with you. The people on social media that are like, you guys had them too high, maybe a little bit, but based off of the pieces they had coming back with the guys they had on paper coming in, like I think we had them about where they should have been. Now, did they show up in week 0? No, but doesn't mean that they'll come right back and put up a 40 or 50 spot. Like they got the guys to do it. Defensively, they got to figure some things out. And then I chalk a lot of that up to kind of starting slow, rotating quarterbacks. I've never been a fan of it. And you got Orji who played, you got Calandra who played. Calandra definitely outplayed Orji did, especially in the pass game. And that's kind of what I said, right? I was like, Orji's been a running guy in Michigan. I don't think he's going to throw it a whole lot. And it's like Calandra, or however you pronounce his last name, like he's a good player, athletic too. Yep. Ended up having almost 100 yards on the ground. So they'll be competitive in the Mountain West is what we said. I didn't have them in the championship game.
Me either.
So,
and that's something. Well, and here, a couple more things, Jeff. You remember week 1 had McNeese State at home in Murfreesboro, and we just got smacked. I mean, it was a close game, but we just got smacked in the mouth by a team. And that was maybe the best team we had at middle. I mean, that's the team that goes up to or down to Atlanta and beats Georgia Tech on the road. That's the team that plays for a championship game. So, maybe Idaho State turns out to be an FCS national contender. You know what I'm saying? And so you just don't know now. You can't give up 555 yards to anybody. I don't care who it is or who you are. You can't do that. And if they don't turn it over 3 times, Idaho State wins that game.
Yeah.
So, Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I also wanted to shout out Jaden Bradley, the receiver for UNLV, 6 catches, 131 yards. I mean, especially in that second half, they were just going to him, and he was making play after play after play. So wanted to shout him out for sure.
Yeah, they got plenty of time to turn it around. Nobody's going to remember how this game went. They're just going to remember that they won the game. So if UNLV tightens it up and they go and they beat Sam Houston this weekend and they start winning some Mountain West games, nobody's going to care that they beat Idaho State by a touchdown in week 0. Nobody's even going to mention it. Fresno State, Kansas. We knew it was going to be tough. I mean, this hit one of your picks, by the way, Kansas covering that line.
Yes, it was.
So the thing that I want to get to on this, and I didn't watch it. I saw a couple of the highlights. Warner turned it over 3 times. One on a sack fumble where, you can't blame him totally, right? But also you got to protect the ball. And then on the one interception, maybe a little bit of a low throw, but defender makes a hell of a play to intercept it. But this game goes like this, right? So they get beat, 31-7? Is that the final, or 38-7?
31-7. Was 7-7 in the first quarter for a little bit.
Well, and if this is exactly right. It's 7-7, and then it gets to 14-7, then it gets 21-7. Fresno's got the ball. Interception number 1. Okay. Then Kansas goes down and gets a field goal. Still very much alive. It's 24-7. Then Fresno gets a decent little drive at the end of the half. They miss a field goal. Long field goal, 55-yarder, but they still miss a field goal. Then they come Fresno 24-7, halftime. You're very much alive in this game, and you've been having some success on offense. Then you come out of the half. You go right down the field. Pretty decent drive. You're in their territory. Sack fumble. Then Kansas goes right down and scores. So now you're out of it a little bit. Now you start panicking. You start forcing stuff. So now it's 31-7 early in the third. And then you come out and throw an interception on the very next possession, and now the game's over. So you see how these games, Jeff, and we talk about it often, is this is a 21-7 game, and you got the ball, and you're very much alive. And then it's 24-7 coming out of the half, and you got the ball, and you have a nice drive. So you see where these 1 or 2 or 3 plays can make a game that, instead of this game being 24-14 going into the fourth quarter, it's now 31-7, and you're out of it.
Turnovers and time of possession. If you can control those 2 things as much as possible, it's going to give you a chance to stay in football games. And you see when you are unable to do that, where games go. And you got to give credit to Jalen Daniels. Like, he's a dark horse Heisman on some people's boards. He's a great player. He's a dual threat quarterback. 176 yards, 3 touchdowns. He ran, when he had to. But you just can't turn it over that many times. You're just giving extra possessions to the opposing offense. And when you've got good players on the other side of you, they're going to take advantage of it. That's what good teams do, is they take turnovers and turn them into points. And that's what Kansas did. And then, going on the road, home crowd, the renovated stadium, like, there was already a lot, in my opinion, kind of stacked against them. So when you kind of shoot yourself in the foot on things that ultimately, like, you can't control everything, but there's some of those that you can, and you got to keep those to a minimum. The offensive line for me is where Fresno State struggled. You're only be able to run the ball 37 total yards. You gotta be able to be able to control the line of possession or the line of scrimmage rather a little bit better than that. That ain't great.
Yeah, well, that's not going to help your quarterback, right? When linebackers are not getting sucked up to the line of scrimmage, and so they're able to sit on things. And yes, interceptions and turnovers have been an issue for Warner. But that being said, outside of those, I mean, they moved the ball. He drove them down the field a couple of times. So I think Fresno offensively, again, and this is again what we said preseason, if they can manage the turnovers, they'll be a problem in the Mountain West. But that's a big if right now, because they've not proven it.
Guys, it's okay. It's week 0. This game literally means nothing in the grand scheme of things. They got Georgia Southern at home this weekend. You got to take care of business, because Georgia Southern's a damn good team.
Yeah, and if you're Fresno, what you hope for is, yeah, we lost, yeah, we played not great, but we got one under our belt. So you like to think if you're Fresno that maybe Georgia Southern has some of that tightness, long way of traveling all the way across the country. They got a lot of distractions because from what I hear, they're staying out there. So you got just a lot of things going on, right? It's like, you know how it is, Jeff. It's like when you go to a bowl game and your family's coming in town and you're trying to figure out tickets and you're trying to figure out where they're staying. When are you going to get to go hang out with mom and dad in the hotel lobby? All those things Georgia Southern's got to deal with. So if you're Fresno, you come out the gate, you got a chance in that one. And I think Georgia Southern will be favored, but we'll see. We'll talk about that on Friday. Do you want to talk Sam Houston Western first? Or you want to talk about Hawaii, who gets it done as the very first quote unquote Power 4 win?
Let's go Hawaii. Let's talk about Hawaii.
Let's go Hawaii. So we get the first one of the year. So we're 1-1, Jeff. Group of 5 versus Power 4. Hawaii gets the win over Stanford. The bad news is Alejado appears to be banged up pretty bad. So we'll see what happens, this week.
Yeah, stepping up in the pocket, and we got a couple clips here we can play in a second. But yeah, stepping up in the pocket, kind of gets grabbed from behind. His foot gets caught and rolled up a bit. Was limping around, but credit to him, toughing that game out, staying in there, limping around. I do got a complaint though. Offensive line, you got a guy like that he's not a big guy. He's not the Byron Leftwich.
No, he's not.
Pick your boy up when you're trying to move fast. Pick him up, carry him, so he's not having to put extra, weight on that ankle. But you could tell after that it was his plant foot. He couldn't, there were some throws that just almost went straight into the ground because he couldn't plant on it. It hurt him. But credit to him staying in there, making some big time throws as well. You could tell he was in pain, but pulled it out. And the kicker from Japan, apparently self-taught on YouTube, by the way, just nailing field goals. Shout out to him.
Yeah. How do you self-teach yourself to kick off of YouTube? I'm just imagining me watching a YouTube clip of a kicker right now. That's not going to help me do anything.
No.
He's probably watching drills on how to stretch and how to. Did he watch a kicker, playing pool and ping pong in the middle of practice? Did that teach him how to kick? That's what our kickers did. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, you're right about Alejado. Like, you could just tell. It looked bad. It looked like he couldn't even put any kind of weight on it. And you're right. Where was the guards? The two guards. That's who it's got to be. You've got to pick him up, put him on your shoulders, and carry him down the field. It would have been an iconic moment for Hawaii and a big win for Hawaii, and to start what a lot of people think is going to be a big season for Hawaii. It would have been the iconic moment.
I know.
And they dropped the ball on it, Jeff.
But to get the win, and we'll go to the highlight here and just check it out. Start the game off offensively, real weird. You get it on the 1 yard line, and this is just what I'm talking about, the week 0 kind of jitters. Alejado, you just got to get the ball. You got the tight end sitting right over the middle. Just dump it to him. You just can't hold the ball in the end zone. Right guard gets beat. He gets put into the quarterback's lap and then just fumbles the ball. Stanford falls on it. They're up 10-0. But this is the offense we're talking about right here. Speed everywhere. This is number 1. Brandon White just making people miss. You can tell they got athletes on the outside. And that's a great throw. On time from Alejado. The lefty spinning it right there. This is what you're going to see in the Mountain West. If you're playing them, they're going to spread you out. They're going to throw it all over the field. And this is where you see Alejado's athleticism. Able to get out and run. And this is the dynamic they didn't have in the second half, right? Yeah. And then they get down there and throw a nice little RPO slant to our guy, Pofeli Ashlock. I'm telling you, Ashlock, Cynical, Jackson Harris, like they got dudes on the outside. They are deep at wideout. They can make plays and great for Hawaii to kind of get it going there. And then the second touchdown they had, Jackson Harris, Berkeley, California product, goes out against his former team, by the way, catches a big touchdown to put him up by 1 right before halftime. So they got dudes all over the field. Defensively, I thought they held, Stanford did a pretty good job. And then here you see this is where Alejado gets rolled up. He's trying to step up in the pocket, make something happen, and they just got to grab him from the side there. And then this was the big play of the game. The linebacker coming off the edge, jumping up, picking the ball off, getting the ball back for your kicker to finish it off, Sprouse.
Well, yeah, a couple things. What a play right there too. I mean, because Stanford's in range there. I mean, they're in range to win it.
You're gonna see it.
So you make that play, but you mentioned you could see the difference. The clips from that first half, you see the difference. Number one of the time that Alejado had, but a lot of that was because he was able to move around a little bit, kind of step up, slide a little bit one way or the other. So he helped his O-line, in that first half. And then in that second half, when you would see the throws, it just looked like, I mean, imagine you trying to do it, standing on your back leg and just trying to throw, and you got no zip, you got no power, you can't turn your hips or anything. But boy, he looks just like isn't it funny? Anybody that's lefty, it's like that for basketball too. Everybody that's lefty has a release that looks identical.
Yeah.
And his, it looks just like freaking Tua out there, dude.
It really does.
But his athleticism, that'll be missed if we'll see what the diagnosis is on that leg, but I hadn't heard anything. I don't know if you have.
No, not yet. I'm sure they're going to be pretty tight-lipped about it too. But, two leading receivers, Ashlock and Harris. Ashlock had 9 catches, 69 yards and a touchdown, and Harris had 6 catches, 59 yards and a big touchdown right before halftime. So this was the offense I wanted to see. I just hate that Ohio got banged up, because if he can't go, I think it changes the dynamic a little bit, and hopefully maybe they can ice it up. Rest, ice, compression, elevation.
I think that's old news, Jeff.
Is it? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know if ice is even like part of the deal anymore. They go in those things. They put their legs in those
boots or whatever.
This cold compression boots. Yeah. Well, let's talk about the game we were at, Jeff.
Let's do it.
Sam Houston. We'll talk about them both. Well, let me talk about Sam Houston a little bit first, because they got the loss, but they definitely got some pieces, and they got a lot of fight, because that game could have got away from them pretty quick. Hunter Watson's feet. We talked about that live. You knew he was pretty elusive. You knew he could turn broken plays into successful plays, but he's also fast. I mean, we saw him. I mean, he's running away from linebackers, not, making some weird move, escaping them. He's outrunning these guys. And there was a point, in that second half when Sam Houston comes out, they go right down the field and score and make it a 1-possession game. And then Western Kentucky has a fumble. Sam Houston scoops and scores. So there was like 3 plays. There was that long drive out of the half. There was the scoop and score. And then there was the first half muffed punt by Western that had Sam Houston in the lead early third quarter in this game. And you thought it was one of these games, Jeff, where you're there watching the game and it's close the whole way. It's a close game. And you're looking at both teams. You're looking at the way they're moving the ball or not moving the ball. And you're just coming away thinking Western Kentucky is by far the better team here. And they just can't. They're just not doing it. They're just not showing it. They're not really playing bad per se. They're just having the occasional turnover or dumb play. And Sam Houston on the other side is getting beat, but then Hunter Watson's making the good play to keep them in that game. And it has, those kind of games are super frustrating if you're the team that's supposed to be better, because you're like, I mean, we're winning the one-on-one battles. We're better. We're outplaying them. We're having big plays down the field, and we're just not showing it on the scoreboard, and it's super frustrating. But Sam Houston, they got some guys. They got some running backs. They got some guys on defense, and they got a quarterback that's a freaking gamer.
He is a gamer. And I didn't ever realize, first time getting to see him in person, you mentioned it, he's literally running away from everybody on the field. I mean, I think he, outside of maybe Matt Henry, might be the fastest guy on the field, and that's just such a dynamic that, and they didn't run like a ton of zone read where he was pulling it or QB power or anything like that. It was all off schedule. Like, he drops back, he doesn't see it, and he takes off. And then, we'll have some highlights here in a second of that. And one of them's on there where he breaks like a 70, 65-yard run. And it looks like I sped the tape up on him. And it's just, dude's a dynamic player. Just was getting, that offensive line was getting eat up. And you talked about him pregame, the interior defensive line, they just made all the difference in the world. He didn't have time because he throws a great ball. And then him and Alton McCaskill, he's coming off an ACL injury. They're going to be giving teams in Conference USA problems. He had 11 carries, 72 yards, and a touchdown, but he can take it the distance. He had that one long run to start the second half and ended up scoring. And he's bigger than I thought. I just watching him on film, and until you get to see somebody live and in person, I always just kind of thought he was a smaller, speedy guy. He's got good size on him. He ran that guy over at the goal line to get in for the touchdown. Sam Houston is a good team. They got to figure some things out defensively and then up front on the offensive line. But you got a puncher's chance when you have Hunter Watson.
Yeah, you're right. Not a ton of QB powers or zone reads. It was a couple draws, but you're right. It was a couple plays where he just drops back. He sees there's nothing, and he gets that little lane because you mentioned the Western Kentucky, the interior of that defensive line. I mean, I'm standing there by them pregame, and they all passed the test, Jeff. They all passed it. And I said, they're going to be an issue. I mean, they got guys. When you have an interior guy that can rush the passer, it's a big problem. It is a big problem because then you're getting that pressure up the middle, and there's nowhere for him to step up in order to make the next read and make his progressions. And then he's almost forced to run. And a lot of times what happens is you try to run, and then you just run into somebody else because there's just nowhere to go when you get pressure up the middle. And then on the other side, Jeff, we saw some damn good running backs Saturday night because Western Kentucky's got a true freshman, and we were inside sources told us pregame, look out now. We got a true freshman that's RB1 here in Bowling Green, and he's a problem. And Parrish, I mean, he is a weapon out of the backfield. He's fast. He makes guys miss. He runs with some power. Let's hope they can keep that guy.
Yeah, 5'11", 196 pounds. Marvis Parrish, an absolute weapon. And he was just different. He looks different. He moves different. And, doesn't appear to be big on the stat sheet. Great, but just solid. Absolutely solid as a rock. And you mentioned him being a true freshman. But I think the biggest story of the night is, and we talked about him all offseason, and it's really the duo, right? It's McIver and Matt Henry. So, if we just go and watch this is that first touchdown of the game. What an incredibly difficult catch this is. Runs right by the corner. Not sure what he was doing there. You got a speedy guy on the outside like this. You got to flip your hips and run. But great ball by McIver, but even better catch by Henry. This guy's going to be a problem for all the secondary in Conference USA. And they got 3 or 4 wideouts that can go get it. And then you talked about Hunter Watson. Here you go, right? Just nobody's catching him. He's running away from everybody, and some people even got an angle on him, and it doesn't matter. The dude is special. He's a playmaker, and they're gonna win. They're gonna win some games because of him for sure. So
the difference in this game, right, is you see Watson. That's a great play, but most of the time when he was making a big play, it was, okay, this protection is breaking down. I'm out of here. Versus on the other side of the ball with McIver, it was, I got all kind of time. I'm going through my progressions. I'm going this side of the field all the way to this side of the field. I'm stepping up and I'm throwing it. And we said it multiple times when we were standing there together, Jeff, is he's not afraid. Big play's not there. Let's go to the next one. Throw the little hitch. Throw the little out. Take the 4, 5, 6 yards and just keep moving the ball forward, keep moving the chains. And when you have time, you can do that because you can go through. And like you said, they got 3 or 4 guys that are serious weapons there. But I think that was the big difference. It was the front, the trenches. Offensive line for Western Kentucky gave McIver all kinds of time. Look at that run. Sorry, I'm kind of the film is delayed on my end, so.
By the way, I don't know if you see it, that where Hutchinson gets in the end zone right there, Sprouse, we got some airtime. Got some airtime in the back of the end zone where, yep.
There's me.
But yeah, then this is where, Western Kentucky really just kind of took over. Here's Parrish on the wheel route out of the backfield. I mean, you can't catch the guy. If you're a linebacker trying to keep up with him, it's a mismatch. You're not going to be able to do it. And ultimately, Western Kentucky just had just had too much firepower for them. And we said it before the season. They're going to be one of the top teams in conference, and they proved it in week 0, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. And it got a little hairy for them to come out of the half, but then they settled in, and man, McIver and Henry and Parrish, they got weapons, man. They got weapons all over the place.
What Dre said, they don't rebuild, they reload.
He did.
Looks like they're
It's you keep thinking, and I wasn't going to say anything when we were on campus there. You keep thinking that it would catch up, right? New coordinator and new quarterback every year. You're thinking at some point this ain't going to work. You know what I mean? And it just keeps working. And this one might be. I'm not saying we got Bailey Zappi on our hands here, but we got a chance to throw for thousands of yards in Bowling Green, Kentucky.
Great start to the year. I mean, 33 for 51, 3 touchdowns, and then had another, rushing touchdown at the goal line there towards the end of the game. It's going to be you have to get pressure on McIver. That's the only way you're going to be able to stop these guys. Sam Houston wasn't able to do it. We'll see if anybody else in conference can.
Yeah. Well, look, there's only a couple of games, so these Monday shows are going to be a lot more difficult to keep to an hour once after this week, especially these first couple of weeks when there's no conference games. So there's like 50 games that we got to sit here and talk about. But we got through week 0. We're on to week 1. We'll be back Wednesday morning because we got some damn good football coming Thursday that we got to talk about. And then we'll be back Friday morning talking all the Saturday games and recapping what happened Thursday night. Look, if you like the show, if you want more Group of 5 football coverage, make sure you follow all the social platforms at Group of 5 Guys. Go to YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. I thought we were playing the voicemails on Friday, you told me.
No, I'm sorry. You must have miscommunication there. We got the voicemails that we didn't play from last Friday because the internet connection. So we cut the show a little bit short, and then we had one from this weekend.
That's my fault. I'm trying to end the show. I'm messing up a lot, Jeff. It's week 0 for me. You know what I mean?
We were in mid-season form on Saturday, but
what happens? That happens when you drive 2 hours from Bowling Green to Murfreesboro, 2 hours from Murfreesboro to North Alabama, and then 5 hours back home in the span of 2 days. But yeah, let's get to the voicemails. You guys call the hotline all year long. Steeple, talking to you, pal. 615-900-4286. Let's see what we got.
Group of 5 guys. This is Boise Bronco 94 on X or Twitter, whatever you prefer. And I just gotta say, I 100% agree with your preseason poll. Boise State number 1. That's what it's supposed to be. I mean, I don't know how you can rank any other team in the G5 and a lot of the Power 4 ranks with Boise State at every position group. I mean, let's just break it down. Boise State running back room. That's all I gotta say about that, right? I mean, shit. Sorry, excuse my language. But other than that, look at offensive line. Cage Casey. Quarterback, Maddox Manson. Cage Casey can be a bad, bad man. And then after that, you have tight end, Matt Louder. Boy, I'm so excited for football season, man. I can hardly contain myself. And then you have at wide receiver, Chris Marshall. Been consistent in camp. I love to see that. And on the defensive side of the ball, Jaden Virgin Morgan, Braxton Seeley. Oh, man. Oh, boy. Zach's going to be coming again this year. And then backfield, you got Marco Notarini, and you got Marion McCoy. Now, what team in the Group of 5 can match up with that? So, you're right. They should be number 1 right now. And I think they're going to hang on that spot for a while. All right. I appreciate y'all. God bless Group 5 guys. God bless Group 5.
Appreciate that, man. Yeah, I mean, we had some people that were complaining about our top 25, really. I mean, Boise to me, I mean, I don't see a whole position group anywhere. So.
Yeah, I mean, he mentioned guys like Cage Casey. Like, these are guys that have been big time, since sophomore year, right? And they're just still there. So it's scary. And I think you mentioned Matt Lauder. I think that tight end is going to be one of the bigger storylines for Boise this year. I think he's going to have a big year.
Yeah, I agree with you. Chris Marshall, excited to see him too. He showed out in camp. I mean, a lot of highlights were coming out of fall camp of him making big time plays. So it's what they need, and we know what they got at the running back spot.
We're gonna find out quick.
Just
about Boise
Thursday. How about a Thursday kickoff?
A Thursday 5:30 local time kickoff in Tampa. You know how many people are going to get there on time? A couple hundred. Okay. Now they might get a good crowd by second quarter. I mean, I don't know who's making these schedules, Jeff.
TV.
I guess the South Florida, or the South Florida folks wanted it to be extra hot, but you're not gonna get anybody there on time. Anyway, What else we got?
All right, let's keep it rolling.
Hey, Jeff and Matt, it's your boy here. Represent Murfreesboro crowd. It's the big hunt goblin. I just want to say, in regards to this Western Sam Houston game, I hope nobody wins and both teams lose. Don't think that's possible. If there's a loophole in the rule book, I'm sure you guys will know. Please inform me. Thank you. God bless.
Appreciate you calling in. Yeah. Western looked good.
Yeah, they did. And I just hope all the Murfreesboro faithful noticed that I wore blue, a little slight shade of blue on game day out there in Bowling Green, just so everybody knows.
Put it on. Walked by Big Red a couple times. I was like, I wish I just had a little lightning sticker just right there, put it on the back of them.
What was that? You remember what was the old boxing ring announcer when Floyd Mayweather got into it with him, and then he said, "Oh, if I was 10 years younger, I'd kick your ass." That's where I thought you were going to go.
No,
a couple times I walked by Big Red, and I thought, if I was.
All right,
what else we got, Jeff?
We got two left. This is our boy Stu's right from last week.
Boys. It's your boy. It's right from Twitter. Thursday night. I got to get up and go to work in the morning. Probably shouldn't be drunk as I am. I had a hell of a week. But. Good news. Saturday at noon. Got football, boys. Real life. Meaningful. College football. I just wanted to give you boys my picks for the weekend. It's a limited slate. I got about 5 games. I'm just going to tell you, Iowa State covers, +3, beats Kansas State. They suck. Thank you, Iowa State, for J.J. Cole. UNLV is going to kill Idaho State. I don't know if they cover 26.5. I'll bet the house on money line UNLV wins. Jalen Daniels is healthy. I got to take Kansas over Fresno State. If they had Jake Haener, I'd probably go different. They don't. I'll take Jalen Daniels and the Jayhawks. I hate it. I'm going to go Sam Houston +10.5. I don't know what Western Kentucky has. I haven't seen either of them yet. I'm going to say Sam Houston plus the points, and then give me Hawaii money line over ACC folks, Stanford. Stanford sucks. I hate the West Coast, pretty much all of them. I feel like Hawaii is probably on the East Coast of Hawaii, so I think we can trust them. Give me the Rainbow Warriors in an early kickoff for them. Give me Hawaii -2.5. I've missed you boys. The off season is over. And I'm just telling you, count out App State at your own peril. I know y'all didn't pick App State. I'm just telling you, we have too much talent not to be improved. I'm not going to say we're going to win the conference. I think we might. But too much talent not to be improved. I cannot wait to jump back on and watch you weekly. Can't wait for college football to be back. It's coming back in, at this point, 36 hours. Can't wait. I love you, boys. God bless the Group of 5. Shout out Terry Johnson. Shout out my other Raging Cajun buddy, Ryan Landry. Shout out Steeple, even though fuck Coastal, I hate him. Shout out Creme even though fuck Texas State, they're leaving us for the Pac-12. I hope Creme finds everything he wants. I still love Zach Go-Go Flames even though I hate Liberty. I still hate JMU. Love you, boys. Can't wait for football. I'll be in touch.
Love you, Stu.
Oh, he's in
That's
mid-season
great
form.
stuff.
Isn't
Oh,
he?
yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Not bad on his picks.
4 out of 5. That's
4 out
pretty
of
good.
5. Not bad. And you know, we were sitting there. Remember, we were sitting there in the end zone, and we were like, "This is where if you took Sam Houston at plus 10.5, you're sweating."
Oh, yeah.
Because they were about to make it 10.
Yes, they were.
Well, I guess didn't it move to 9.5? It must have moved to 9.5 late or something. That's why we would have been saying that.
Yeah, I can't remember. It
ended up being a
fluctuated.
17 point.
Yeah, it always kind of moves right before kickoff. It always moves up and down. People are throwing money on it.
Never
pushing
mind.
the
I
line
don't know
around.
what I'm saying. I'm doing my math wrong. It would have been 10. That'd have been fine.
Yeah. Not if you had plus,
Well,
though.
if you had, yeah,
You would have lost.
it would
that.
have. No, you would have lost if you had Western minus 10.5.
Correct. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So if he would have had, if he had Sam Houston plus 10.5, he would have. If Sam Houston goes down and scores, which they should have,
Yeah.
then you win that. All right. Well, we got one more.
Last one. Joe Judkins.
Good morning, Joe.
Group of 5 guys. Joe Judkins here. First voicemail of the year. Let me start off by saying that I really enjoyed watching the Friday show and following the two of you during your time in Bowling Green. Is that campus gorgeous or what? Great job, fellas. Congratulations to Western and Hawaii and UNLV, but Dan, you got to do better than that. And Fresno, you let me down. Didn't even show up on run defense, and you can't turn the ball over 3 times. I got a couple of bones to pick with this week 0 and the football that was available to watch on the exclusively selfish propaganda network. I have come to the conclusion that ESPN don't give one shit about the status of amateur football or amateur sports of any kind, for that matter. This weekend, ESPN showed several high-level matchups between the nation's premier high school programs in the country. I say, says who? You? My brain started to kick in after a few nips of the brown water, and I witnessed these charter school, prep school, academy school, private school kids flying across the country, showing their ass, dancing and prancing and running around the maple tree. Some of these kids could care less what anyone thinks of their antics. They're on TV. Sports was supposed to teach team discipline, accomplishment, disappointment, life lessons, and how to deal with them. It's sad that high school athletes are now restricted in many cases from playing more than one sport. Travel this and AAU that and 7-on-7 here and yon and everywhere. It's such bullshit. And I believe ESPN is 100% complicit. They don't give a damn what happens when high school kids decide that Domenico's Deli needs to pay him because they are the major sponsor of Murfreesboro High and he's the stud. It's happening all over town, right here in this country, all over at the high school level. I watched Second Bone. I watched the halftime show on CBS Sports, and you know what? Those fucking folks have the same exact attitudes as those on exclusively selfish propaganda network. Oh, sure, Western and Sam Houston got their mention, their 3 minutes of fame during the halftime recap, but the rest of the show, not so much. The ability these guys possess in using their organ of taste to completely saturate the anal opening of the SEC and the Big Ten is amazing to me. Any licks or slurps for the G5 conferences. Remember, their marquee game is Western versus Sam Houston. Only game they got on. Not even a tongue-out tease. Nothing. Pissed I am. Is there ever time for you boys to track the code, do a weekly Saturday morning pregame live show, which I know you've done in the past? It would just be fabulous. Lauren and Scarlett, your devotion and dedication to this process does not go unnoticed. We appreciate you allowing them to spend time with us. We just want more. Well, fellas, my Trojans open up Saturday against Nicholas, a team that just beat the number 4 FCS team in the country. So the sledding may be tougher than my Trojan faithful would like to admit. As you boys always say, there's talent at every level, and so you got to prepare. And I think we'll be ready. God bless you guys. Thank you for what you do for the Group of 5. I appreciate you both so much. I hope we surprise and are good enough to have you boys in Troy this season. Go Trojans.
I mean, that's just a great job, Joe.
I mean, everybody's in mid-season form today except me, Jeff.
I know. You can step up, Sprouse.
I got it. I got a lot. I know we got to get going, but he talked about them high school. So right about, and all the, you're talking South Florida guy, all the Miami and Fort Lauderdale schools got smacked, and they were all dancing around, cocky as hell, talking. So they all got smacked by teams from Utah, Mater Dei. I mean, Mater Dei, they were the favorite. It wasn't like that was the upset. All the other ones were upsets. And yeah, man, it's it's scary because that's what happens. It's what always happens, right? It starts at professional level, starts trickling down, and you go watch a youth football game. It looks like that now. But the other thing, shout out to the wives. They let us have a weekend already. So
without question, couldn't do it without them. And yeah, I mean, as fathers of 3 young boys, like seeing all this travel ball stuff. I mean, mine play travel baseball, but I'm like, you're going to play football. You're going to play basketball. If you want to play soccer, I don't care what you want to play. You're not playing one thing year round. I've seen it too many times. You get burnt out. By the time we were done, 2 years at JUCO, 3 years at middle, like I was 6-7 years in after a medical red shirt as well of football. Like I was done. I was tired. And I was it was year round at that point. And I was school was paid for, all the things. So it's like you're just bumping that up to these kids that are 8, 9, 10 years old. By the time they're 15, they're like, I don't want to do this anymore. You've turned it into a job. Like I'm just like, boys, go have fun. Like, yes, if you want to be great, you got to work your ass off. It takes what it takes. There's no way around that portion of it. And I will do everything I can to help you. And we can go in the yard and do, speed school, push the sled. We can go in the gym and, throw med balls, do all that stuff. But at the end of the day, like if you're not having fun, it's moot.
Well, and that's it right there, Jeff, where you talked about, like, if you're playing baseball or now they're playing football year round. So you're doing fall camp, you're having your season, you're doing spring ball, you're doing 7-on-7 leagues all summer. Like, where is the development? Where is the, hey, we're going to take these next 3 months. We're going to get bigger, faster, stronger, more athletic. But now it's, what can we do? What's the next thing that we can put on social media? What's the next camp we can do? We can put on our, our bright colors and where can we sell the most gear and things like that? And where's the development? And like you talk about, like anybody that's played any sport professionally, even now, like even as it has changed, the guys that are playing baseball professionally, ask any of them. Yeah, play everything, because you playing soccer develops a certain level of athleticism and foot-eye coordination that just playing baseball won't. You playing basketball, if you're a football guy, even if you're an offensive lineman, your feet work by having to play defense and basketball, it's going to make you that much better at all your other sports. But anyway, we can get on that topic all day long. But yeah, I was like, I never in my life, you guys know, Jeff, you ride for California. I get up here and ride for Broward County, especially when we talk high school and youth football. I was almost rooting for these teams to lose because they're showing them on TV and on social media. Like, just, I don't mind I like a little trash talk, but it's too far. And they all got a nice little slice of humble pie, if you will. Anyway, I got to go to work.
Take us
You
home.
guys follow all the social platforms at Group of Five Guys, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Believe Network. Subscribe to the channel. Leave a 5-star rating. Leave a review. Tell your family and friends all about us. Make sure you jump on that Levels Discord. We'll be chatting on there. I'll be doing that at the desk, trying to keep up with the chat on the Levels Discord. You guys have a great week. We'll see you Wednesday morning. We're out of here.